Oh, we thought it was all over. It's not all over. And Marquez has not made a move yet on Lorenzo. You can bet your bottom dollar he will. And how fierce will that move be?
And what will happen, Nick, of course, is if Marquez passes Lorenzo, he'll have to engage with Marquez because Dani Pedrosa's right behind him. A few laps ago we thought, well, if Marquez comes through, he'll be able to just sit there in a fairly safe second place. With Dani Pedrosa closing hand over fist, then Jorge Lorenzo won't be able to relax for a second.
4.5 laps to go. What an extraordinary end to this 2015 MotoGP World Championship. 110,000 people are just watching with their mouths open. Is this title chase not over yet? Lorenzo is the world champion. There you can see Dani Pedrosa. Obviously you can see Marc Marquez. Valentino Rossi can just hope and pray that Honda remember those world championships he bought them before he switched to Yamaha.
Through 13, lap number 26. 4 to go for Jorge Lorenzo. He's on the cusp of winning a 5th Grand Prix World Championship. He's 3rd in MotoGP. Here he comes over the line. The gap between Lorenzo and Marquez is under 3/10. The gap between Marquez and Pedrosa, it's come down yet again. 1.2 seconds is the gap. Lorenzo again just drops in to the 132s, as does Marquez. And Dani Pedrosa a 1:31.898. Must be 5 or 6 laps in a row now that Dani Pedrosa has been faster on track than Lorenzo and Marquez. Has he got enough time to claw back those 1.5 seconds between himself and Jorge Lorenzo? Valentino Rossi certainly hopes so, because it's World Championship on the line for the Italian.
Bradley Smith moves up into 6th place in front of Andrea Dovizioso, but Marquez closes up on Lorenzo. As Matt says, if he passes him, he will still be world champion, but Pedrosa is the man with all the speed. 5 points, Lorenzo leads the championship. They will be equal on points if Marquez gets by. He will win the title because he has more Grand Prix wins. But if Dani Pedrosa goes by, Rossi wins the title from 4th place.
This is unbelievable tension here in Valencia. They're through the 3rd split. Dani Pedrosa, the gap now 1.1 seconds. Lorenzo's getting the pit board. He knows now they're giving him a sign about Marquez and Pedrosa. Lorenzo, he's had the hammer down for 26 laps. He's got to get the hammer down again now, because they know Dani Pedrosa is the man on the charge. Will he still play a huge part in the destiny of this World Championship? There we go. Marquez and Pedrosa, 1.3 seconds. The gap between Marquez and Pedrosa now, it's under a second. 1.1 seconds between Lorenzo and Pedrosa. 3 laps to go. Game on. The World Championship at stake.
Lorenzo up at turn 2, the Mick Doohan corner, the 5 times world champion. Boy, I bet he's watching and enjoying this one. The 2 Hondas now harrying the Yamaha in front of them. Lorenzo hanging on by his fingernails. We ride with Lorenzo. When will Marquez make a move? Is this the move he's going to make? Right in his face, number 93. And Pedrosa, he's closing all the time. 2.5 laps to go. What an amazing race. What an amazing end to the season.
How is your nerves? Jorge Lorenzo. Dani Pedrosa closes up through turn number 8. 2.5 laps to go of the World Championship in 2015 here in Valencia. It's going to be decided, as Nick said, right down to the wire. Dani Pedrosa is edging ever closer. This is now a 3-way fight for the victory. What a second half to the race for Dani Pedrosa. You can hear a pin drop here in Valencia. There's 111,000 fans here. They are silent.
Not a word is spoken. Mouths are open. People just cannot believe this battle. Here they come once again. Onto the back straight, onto the front straight. Lorenzo crosses the line. 2 laps to go. 2 to go. Marquez has not made a move yet. Pedrosa is right up there with them. The World Championship will be decided in 2 laps of the Ricardo Tormo circuit here in Valencia.
Dani Pedrosa was 7/10 of a second quicker than Lorenzo and Marquez on that last lap. He is right there. You wouldn't put it past Dani Pedrosa coming through to take a victory. It would be a sensational, a remarkable comeback from Dani Pedrosa. He was 2.5 seconds behind this battle through turn number 5. Pedrosa now hugging the rear tyre of Marc Marquez. Is Pedrosa going to make a move at turn number 6? He's not quite close enough.
This is amazing. This is motorsport at its very, very best.
Dani Pedrosa's taken second place from Marc Marquez. That Marc Marquez tries to fight back. Lorenzo out a little bit wide. Marquez back up the inside of Dani Pedrosa. The 2 Repsol Honda men fighting. This is music to Lorenzo's ears while they're jotting it out. Lorenzo's away at the front.
It is music to Jorge Lorenzo. Swapping paint, swapping positions. 1.5 laps to go. Lorenzo is so close to that world title. The Hondas, well, of course they're going to fight with each other, but can they get past Lorenzo? That may be just the break that Jorge Lorenzo needed.
The biggest 2.5 miles of Jorge Lorenzo's career coming up. The final lap of an incredible 2015 MotoGP World Championship is underway. Will it be Lorenzo? Will it be Rossi? It's all about Marc Marquez and Dani Pedrosa. If they can find a way clear of Lorenzo, Rossi will be the world champion. Lorenzo under incredible pressure. He's held off those 2 Hondas so far through turn number 2. It's Lorenzo with one hand on the trophy.
Rossi crosses the line in 4th place. He can play no part in this battle. Lorenzo has 3/4 of a lap to go through 4, through 5, up now towards turn 6. Marquez and Pedrosa at his heels all the time through the Angel Nieto corner. 5 points, he leads the championship.
Powering out of turn number 6 through the kink at 7. Lorenzo's not going to come under attack from Marc Marquez. He's ridden a perfect final lap so far as the number 99 through this tight, twisty infield section. No way through here for Lorenzo. Lorenzo's going to take the championship, surely.
Up through 9 and 10 for Jorge Lorenzo. Half a lap to go. One hand on that World Championship trophy. Now he dips it into turn 12. 2 bends to go.
Jorge Lorenzo standing on the brink of his 3rd World Championship. Dani Pedrosa's out of this. Lorenzo is going to come through the final corner. It's Lorenzo's now to lose.
Jorge Lorenzo will be crowned the 2015 MotoGP World Champion. 99 wins here in Valencia.
2015 belongs to Jorge Lorenzo. Joy and jubilation on one side of the factory Yamaha garage. It'll be contrasting emotions on the side of number 46. Valentino Rossi comes over the line. He put up a great fight, but Rossi is not the world champion.
Rossi crosses the line. 2nd in the World Championship. Jorge Lorenzo has ridden a most amazing race. He has ridden the race of a truly great world champion. Congratulations to Jorge Lorenzo. Enormous applause of Valentino Rossi. He actually could have done no more than what he did.
Well, it started in dramatic fashion in Qatar with Valentino Rossi winning the opening round. It's finished with unbelievable nail-biting tension right down to the last lap. If Dani Pedrosa and Marc Marquez had passed Jorge Lorenzo at the end of that race, then Lorenzo was seeing the World Championship slip through his fingers. He produced a brilliant last lap, did Jorge Lorenzo, to win that World Championship. His 7th win of the season, and for the 5th time in his career, the 3rd time in MotoGP. Jorge Lorenzo is the king of MotoGP.
We thought it might be a damp squib. Wow, what a race. And those last few laps.
Well, there you go.
Regardless, the man we've been talking to, talks to us every week. Just doesn't know what to think. I don't think Yamaha really know what to think. I know what the Jorge Lorenzo side of the garage think. A truly worthy world champion. Forget the shenanigans. He's won more Grand Prix than anybody else, and that was the ride of a world champion. That also was a ride of a world championship. Brilliant performance by Valentino Rossi, but he has lost his championship crown to this man.
5 points was the difference at the end of a remarkable 2015 MotoGP World Championship. Jorge Lorenzo, he said yesterday that qualifying lap in pole for pole position was the lap of his life. That last lap to hold off Marc Marquez and Dani Pedrosa has just bettered that, no doubt about that.
Brilliant stuff from Lorenzo. Second successive Grand Prix victory of the season. He's a serious championship contender. Lorenzo is a masterclass.
4th win in a row for the Spaniard.
Victory number 5 of the season. Jorge Lorenzo though wins here. What a race.
Yeah, almost speechless after that.
Mate, we knew this championship was going to go all the way.
Oh, that's brilliant.
Yeah.
That's Jorge Lorenzo. That's friends of his dressed up in all of the leathers and helmets that he won his previous World Championships,
yeah,
of course.
That's right. 251s as well there. Great idea. It's almost out of the almost out of the Valentino Rossi scrapbook now, isn't it?
Imagine if they'd put those leathers on at the last minute, wouldn't they? Because they didn't know he was going to win the World Championship right down to the last lap. But you can see they are the 5 world titles for Jorge Lorenzo. His second, or 2 in 250s. His 3rd in MotoGP. His 1st since 2012. And for the first time in the whole of 2015, at the last race, down to the last lap, Valentino Rossi lost the points lead in the World Championship right at the end.
And it's only the 3rd time in the 67-year history of Grand Prix racing that a rider who's been behind on points has come through to win the World Championship. Commiserations to Valentino Rossi. He really could have done no more.
Well, you're not going to see more contrasting emotions than the two sides of that factory Yamaha garage. Unadulterated joy on one side for Jorge Lorenzo. There's Dani Pedrosa. Let's not forget, amidst all the World Championship celebrations, that was a magnificent 100th Premier Class podium finish by Dani Pedrosa. And all those Valentino Rossi, millions of Valentino Rossi fans around the world suddenly would have become millions of Dani Pedrosa fans.
And Marc Marquez fans as well.
Hector Barbera there, sporting a number 1 because he has won the Open Class Championship. Barbera, he finished outside of the points in 16th, but with Loris Baz down in 19th. Barbera is the top Open Class rider in 2015.
Listen to the reception for Valentino Rossi. He could have done no more.
But he knows that that 10th World Championship has just eluded him after a great ride by this man, Jorge Lorenzo.
That is just outside our commentary box, which is now filled with tyre smoke.
I think he's quite happy. Quite rightly, it was a brilliant ride by Jorge Lorenzo. The 4th time this year he's won in front of his home crowd in Spain. What a time to complete the quartet. He is the 2015 MotoGP World Champion, and that's what it means, because that race would have taken everything out of Jorge Lorenzo, physically and mentally. He will now be drained, emotional. We don't see a lot of emotion from Jorge Lorenzo, but you have to say, he is a worthy world champion, no doubt about that.
Smiles from Valentino Rossi and a thumbs up. He could have done no more than what he did. It was a brilliant ride. Crowd will be supporting him. I really hope, though, they give Jorge Lorenzo the reception he deserves when he stands on that top step of the podium. He is drained in that absolutely everything. There is nothing left in the locker for Jorge Lorenzo.
Well, with 2 laps to go, with Marc Marquez and then Dani Pedrosa coming into the frame, he was only about 5 miles away from losing the World Championship, because at that time it looked like Marquez and Pedrosa were the faster riders. But when he had to dig deep, when he had to call upon all those reserves of talent, Jorge Lorenzo delivered.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you've seen a better motorsport season than we've seen in these 18 rounds of the 2015 World Championship, tell me what it was. This was a remarkable season and ended with a remarkable race.
Yeah, my fingernails have gone again, that's for sure. Oh. There's Lorenzo's father coming to congratulate his son. All those years, those early years on pocket bikes in Spain, learning how to master his skills with his father. And that's what it was all about today. It was all for this moment. The moment Jorge Lorenzo produced probably one of the best races of his life. He came under incredible pressure, but when he was asked the questions, he came up with all the answers.
What a season, what a race. They're all back to work on Tuesday. First test for 2016 starts here in Valencia on Tuesday.
If he's got over the headache from tonight, yes, definitely.
Some party, I would imagine, tonight, and rightly so. Congratulations, Jorge Lorenzo, the 2015 MotoGP World Champion. The moment he knew that he was the title holder. 30 laps of pressure, intensity, and I think nobody, unless they've been in that position, could ever feel or understand.
Commiserations from Valentino Rossi's army of supporters. As Nick said, he could not have done anything more. He was on the back foot. That grid penalty dropping him to the back of the grid after all the controversy in Malaysia. He fought his way through to 4th place, but it just was not enough. He needed help from these 2 men. You have to say Marc Marquez and Dani Pedrosa, there's not a lot more that they could have done to try and beat him.
Don't think we want any nonsense about that. They gave it absolutely everything, didn't they?
You think 5 or 6 laps from the end, maybe a little bit more. Dani Pedrosa was 2.5 seconds behind that battle for the victory.
End of a difficult season for Marc Marquez, but he's ended in great style. And Dani Pedrosa, what an end to the season for him. A season that started in Qatar when we thought perhaps his World Championship career was over. Well, let's have a look a bit further down, shall we? Paul Espargaro 5th, Bradley Smith 6th, Andrea Dovizioso 7, Cal Crutchlow, an absolutely brilliant 9th place behind Aleix Espargaro, having to start from the back of the grid. Maverick Vinales 11, 12 Michele Pirro, 13 Yoni Hernandez, 14 Alvaro Batista, and Scott Redding in 15th place.
Well, Danny, what a race that was. You were down by 2.6 seconds at one point, and all of a sudden you just came back. I mean, where did that come from? Did you think you could maybe get past Marc and Jorge?
Yes. I was not comfortable, especially on the beginning of the race, so I lose time and I was dropping a little bit. I tried to get closer at the middle of the race, but still I wasn't matching the correct rhythm because I was suffering a lot with the front. But then I decided to not to lose too much and try to stay saving a little bit the tire, and then towards the end I knew I had some extra, so I tried to push and I was focused. I was enjoying a lot because I was recovering, and actually I had a good time there in the last laps. I enjoyed and well, I tried the pass, but I ran wide and finally 3rd because in the last lap I made a mistake with the gear in one corner, so I couldn't really stay close. But well, happy anyway because today had some issues with the bike, but now. This is I finished 4th overall the championship with all the problems I've had this year, so it's quite impressive.
Thank you very much, Danny. Congratulations.
Well, I tell you what, See, Danny Pedrosa was happy with that for a long time. It was a great ride, great end to the season for Danny Pedrosa. Boy, Lorenzo celebrating with the team. What a team he's had around him, headed by the love for Ricardo. You can see the man in the glasses, the crew chief.
And Max Biaggi there, of course, great friends of Jorge Lorenzo, joining in the pre-podium celebrations and embrace from the 4x 250cc world champion.
Max Biaggi say thank you very much for beating Valet.
Lynn Jarvis offering his congratulations to Jorge Lorenzo.
They're on their way home. Well, on the way home, I think they're on the way down the start-finish straight at the moment, aren't they? It's like an organised track invasion, as there should be. Here's Marc Marquez.
Well, Mark, what a race that was. You were with Jorge pretty much all the time in those last laps. You were getting so close. Danny told us there were a few problems with the front. He even caught up to you. I mean, you must have been at the limit.
Yeah, in the beginning, Jorge pushed really strong. I was riding over the limit, and I think on that laps where Danny just cooled down a little bit the tires, I was trying a lot in the last laps. I was preparing the attack for the last 2 laps for try to overtake and push the last lap. But when Danny overtake me, there we lose time, and then I tried to catch Jorge. I tried in the last corner to inside, but I saw that was a lot of risk. I nearly lose the front, and then okay, second place is not the best way to finish the season, and next season we will try to fight again for the title.
Thank you very much, Mark. Congratulations.
Yeah, Marc Marquez, he trailed Jorge Lorenzo, but he is the master of running at the front. I've got to say, at one point I thought Marquez was going to get him. He did not. He's found his feet now, hasn't he, Jorge Lorenzo?
Yeah, he certainly has.
I got to say, I think he's a very worthy world champion for everything of Valentino Rossi. What a performance by the 36-year-old. But Lorenzo is quick, and I think that whole race summed up Jorge Lorenzo.
Yeah, the 2 reps of the Honda men just talking about how they did everything they could to hunt down and pass Jorge Lorenzo. But here he is, the 2015 MotoGP world champion, coming to talk to Dylan.
Well, Jorge, you came into this weekend, you were down on points. What an occasion it was. In this race, you are now 5 times world champion. But in the end, also tell us about that pressure from the Hondas you had.
It's easy to say, but a lot of pressure. The rear tire was destroyed. To be honest, I didn't see anything in the straight in all the laps. I didn't see the board. I didn't see how many laps was to finish. So I just tried to focus myself to go as fast as possible. Sliding around and moving so much the bike, so I just keep my concentration and pray to finish the race. Now I am 5 times world champion. It's easy to say, but now we make an unbelievable job. Yamaha make an unbelievable bike, and my team is perfect this season. So I'm very proud to have this season for Spain, for this world title for Spain.
Thank you very much, Jorge. Congratulations.
Congratulations to Jorge Lorenzo. He looks absolutely drained of emotion and of energy. And he said that rear tyre was sliding around all over the place.
Got that big streak in him, of course, because that burnout that he did, didn't he?
I don't think that was caused by the race.
No, I think that was when he was just revving that engine to about 20,000 RPM to celebrate winning his world championship.
Well, the podium awaits. One must feel sorry for Valentino Rossi, but once again it's the action on the track that has shone through after a very difficult 2 weeks for MotoGP.
Yeah, there are a lot of fans that have gathered underneath the podium for the podium ceremony here. We hope they are respectful towards the new world champion.
There is photographers fighting to get the picture. Say over 600 journalists here this weekend, a crowd of 110,000, nearly 111,000. And they were not let down in any way. 2 new world champions, Danny Kent in Moto3, Jorge Lorenzo in MotoGP.
We'll just run through a couple of stats and facts about Jorge Lorenzo. He's the first Spanish rider to win the Premier Class world title on 3 occasions. He's the second most successful Spanish rider of all time now after Angel Nieto. incredible as well. He's the first rider Premier Class history to win the World Championship, having not finished on the podium in the first 3 races. Of course, you forget, don't you, after it was such a difficult start to the year for him, wasn't it?
And the Qatar with that helmet trouble. Jerez, Argentina and Austin. And then he started coming into form, but he had to leave it to the last couple of laps of this final race of the season to clinch that world title. Podium awaits for the last time this season. What an amazing MotoGP season it has been. Boy Lorenzo, the world champion. Valentino Rossi in second place. Marc Marquez third. Danny Pedrosa, Andrea Iannone and Bradley Smith is your top 6.
Social media will be buzzing now after that unbelievable finale to the 2015 MotoGP World Championship. Jorge Lorenzo, of course, the new world champion. Let us know what you feel about that. Hashtag Lorenzo Champ on Facebook and Twitter. A warm embrace there from the former king of Spain to the new king of MotoGP.
Podium awaits the new world champion. What a way to win the world title, by winning an amazing final race from start to finish. From start to finish, just does not tell the story in any way. What a ride by Valentino Rossi. Those early laps, he was scything through the field, wasn't he? It's like a hot knife through butter, but we knew once he got into 4th, that was it. And then it was down to the Hondas, and boy, did they try to beat Jorge Lorenzo.
Just from Marc Marquez, what he said there. He overcooked his front tyre while trying to stay with Lorenzo. Danny Pedrosa, as he did in Japan somewhat in the rain, he just managed his tyres, and when he came back to him, he was able to close the gap. Here he is though, Danny Pedrosa, for the 100th time steps on the Premier Class podium. Second place for his teammate Marc Marquez.
And here is the 2015 world champion. It's Jorge Lorenzo. Bit of a mixed reception there for Marc Marquez, I felt, did you?
Yeah, a little bit for Jorge Lorenzo as well.
What a year it has been for Yamaha. Their 60th anniversary. They won the Constructors' title. They've won the team title. And now Jorge Lorenzo has brought them the Riders' Championship.
Triple crown for Yamaha for the first time since 2010. Third place trophy going to Danny Pedrosa for, as we said, the 100th time in his MotoGP career. And the second rider to reach that milestone behind Valentino Rossi, his 141st podium of his Grand Prix career.
Marc Marquez stuck with Lorenzo out throughout the race, but he has to hand over that World Championship trophy to his fellow Spaniard. Second place for Marc Marquez, third in the World Championship. But he's won the race, his 7th Grand Prix victory of the season. He is the 2015 MotoGP World Champion. Congratulations to Jorge Lorenzo.
40th MotoGP victory of Jorge Lorenzo's career. 61st in total. And that's what it means to the 28-year-old from Palma de Mallorca, new world champion.
¡Ahora sí!
asked him yesterday, was there any tears after that qualifying lap? He said no, but there'll be plenty of tears tomorrow if he wins the World Championship. And I think there was, wasn't there? Inside the helmet before he even got back to the start and finish.
There's a happier and more relieved man than Jorge Lorenzo on the planet right now. I'd like to meet him, because what a feeling it must be to win a World Championship, a MotoGP World Championship, in such dramatic fashion at the final round of the championship. He came into this race trailing Valentino Rossi by 7 points. As Nick said, only Wayne Rainey and Nicky Hayden at the overturned points deficits in the past. Make that number 3 though for Jorge Lorenzo.
I think he's going to give this. I think he's going to give. I think he's going to celebrate with the team, isn't he? He's made it quite clear where he's going. They said, no, please don't do that. I don't think he's run off the podium to be difficult. I think he wants to get. He was asking that for the champagne, wasn't he, to be given to the team, or perhaps to his mum and dad. I don't know who it was, but that was the reason.
What a year it's been for Yamaha in their 60th anniversary. We knew that they'd won the Team World Championship. We knew they'd won the Constructor World Championship. It was all about individual honours today.
Great here. Danny Pedrosa receiving some real well-deserved applause and chanting.
Look at Danny Pedrosa's form in the last 4 or 5 races. I don't think anybody scored more points other than Pedrosa since he's returned to full fitness.
Salute the master, salute the doctor, salute Valentino Rossi. Grand Prix victory number 5 of the season for Jorge Lorenzo.
Oh, Marquez goes for the victory!
What a race! Danny Pedrosa wins the 50th Grand Prix of his career.
to make his break.
He got Pedrosa again on the inside.
Rossi lost crucial ground.
Lorenzo wins here in Motorland. Let battle commence. Pedrosa is absolutely flying.
Danny Pedrosa leads.
And Lorenzo's running wide. Pedrosa wins here in Japan. 18 points separate. Look at Lorenzo.
Valentino Rossi makes his stick. Oh, Andrea, now the unbelievable from the Italian. Marquez is close to him. He's going to move through on the brakes down into turn 10. What a last lap.
What a race.
Lorenzo makes his move up the inside the first corner. Marc Marquez says take it straight back at turn number 10.
Oh, God, it's gone. MotoGP 2015, it just does not get any better than that. I hope you've enjoyed the season as much as we have. We've enjoyed you being with us. We've loved every moment of those 18 races. A massive thank you to Matt Burt sitting alongside me and Dylan Gray down in pit lane. A season none of us will ever forget. And Jorge Lorenzo, the 2015 MotoGP World Champion. Right, we're taking a big deep breath. Matt's taking a big deep breath here. Let's have a look at what the classifications will never tell us. They could never illustrate, whatever these classifications say, what an amazing season we have had, culminating here in another unbelievable race in Valencia.
Yeah, it's been an absolute privilege to be part of such an unbelievable 2015 MotoGP World Championship. And quite rightly, it was decided right down to the very last lap.
Jorge Lorenzo wins. Marc Marquez and Dani Pedrosa. Valentino Rossi, what a ride from the back of the grid into fourth place. Pol Espargaro, Bradley Smith in sixth place. Andrea Dovizioso, Aleix Espargaro. Great ride by Cal Crutchlow from the back row.
Danilo Petrucci completed that top 10. Vinales, Pirro, Hernandez, Bautista and Scott Redding on his final Honda appearance. They were your point scoring finishes. Hector Barbera in 16th place, but he did secure the Open Class Championship by 5 points from Loris Baz. Baz, the Frenchman, ends his first season in MotoGP down in 19th place.
Yeah, Nicky Hayden bows out of an amazing Grand Prix career in 17th place. All important championship positions. 5 points separate the Yamaha pair of Jorge Lorenzo and Valentino Rossi.
Dani Pedrosa's 100th podium secured him 4th place after Andrea Iannone's early crash. Great top 10 finish overall for Danilo Petrucci. The two Suzukis of Aleix Espargaro and Maverick Vinales in 11th and 12th places respectively. Hector Barbera 15th in the overall World Championship standings, top open class rider by those 5 points clear of Loris Baz.
There's Jack Miller in his maiden MotoGP season, Nicky Hayden in his last MotoGP season, Eugene Lafferty, Mike De Meglia, Roshi Oyama, Takahashi and Tony Elias coming in at the end of the season. And Alex De Angelis, what a welcome sight seeing him as a spectator here this weekend. Well, it's a clean sweep for Yamaha. Constructors' Championship. Yamaha have won it from Honda, Ducati, Suzuki, Aprilia, Forward Yamaha and ART. 14th MotoGP Constructors' Championship for Yamaha. The Team Championship. Movistar Yamaha MotoGP from Repsol Honda, Ducati. Good season for Monster Yamaha Tech 3. Suzuki X-Star, Octo Pramac Racing, LCR Honda, Mark VDS. For a little bit further down, Forward Racing, Aprilia in their first season, Aspar and Emotion Iota Racing in 13th place. Open Riders classifications. Congratulations to Hector Barbera. Congratulations also to Loris Baz. What a maiden season in the MotoGP World Championship for the Frenchman. And Jack Miller and Nicky Hayden, Bradley Lafferty, De Meglia, Pirro and Tony Elias. So the end of a truly remarkable MotoGP season. So, what a race to end the year. See you in 2016.